So hey, welcome back everyone. So in this video we are going to see how I make this Naruto Kunai to this. You might see that there is a bump in the surface. Okay, and the Kunai looks nice with the metallic effects, and I also add some smoke in it, the smoke simulation in it. But in this video I'm do not going to show you how I add this smoke simulation. So in this tutorial I'm only going to show you how I make this plane with the shading techniques, so that you can see there is a bump, there is a sense of depth in it, but actually it is only this flat plane, right? You can see that this is only a flat plane. And if you see the handle of this kunai, you also see that this is a simple cylinder, right? There is no displacement in it. But when I go to the render mode, you can see that there is a depth in it. So this all was the shading techniques, and this is quite fun to see that you can do these kind of things only with the shading techniques. So let's get started without wasting time. So I use the EV engine and for the fast rendering settings, and I set the samples. Okay, so let's get starting, and I just go to the shading mode, and yeah, let's see the plane first. Okay, so for the plane I actually made this setup. You can see that I use the noise texture for the different patterns of this shader, and I use the color ramp to color it, and yeah, I also use the mapping node to just map this noise texture to the plane. All right, and then I use the bump node to actually make this shader to reflect the bump, so that it actually makes this plane a faking effect of bump, right? Then I connect it to the principal BSDF, and yes, for color I use the emission node, because the effect of this kind of effect of plane, the colors of this kind is attained by the emission node. All right, and simply I just add a shader. Yeah, this is all about it. You can see if I just surpass this emission node, you can see the colors are not look good, right? Colors will not look good as much. So I just add the emission shader in it, and yeah, it somewhat looks good, like an anime style or something like this. I attain this pattern with the shader node, with the noise texture node. You can see that the scale is like this, details were moving like this, roughness moving like this. So I just use the mapping node and the texture coordinate nodes. So in the texture coordinate nodes, you have to select the plane, and you have to connect the object to the vector, and yeah, vector to the noise texture vector, and then you can use the color ramp. This color ramp is also used in the to give the information to the bump node, right? So that this bump node actually give you the sense of depth in the shader, and it actually connects to the normal socket to the principal BSDF. All right, I think we cannot simply connect to this with the displacement vector. Might because EV does not support it or something else, I don't know. Other information in principal DS is remain same. Instead I just remove the base color and set it to the black, so that principal BSDF do not add any color to the shader. The color of the shaders only gives from this texture node and the color ramp. And again I just add the emission node. I also use the bloom effect to make it more like anime. So now I just move to the handle of kunai to show you how I make this effect. It actually the same kind of effect, but instead of noise texture I use the wave texture in it, and I use the bands. Like you can see that this effect use the information of bands, right? So I set it to the Z axis and sine wave, and I just simply connect the color effect to the color ramp, and it goes to the base color of principal BSDF. And again I use the bump effect and connect it to its height and normal to the normal of principal BSDF. And yeah, simply this is sample stuff, and yes, you looking this kind of anime looking style kunai. And for the blade part, it is actually very simple. I just use the principal BSDF with the base color of kind of blue and metallic effect to all to one. And yes, this is all about the blade. And for the render settings, I actually use the bloom, and I do not use screen space reflections and motion blur or something else. I also add the animation. If you see my channel, and you can see this animation in the latest videos. so I do not show you the animation in this tutorial, but yes, you can see that on my channel. So I also use the physics simulation of smoke. You can see that there is a smoke in it, but in this tutorial I do not show you how I make it. So yeah, thank you guys, and I think you will understand how I make this shading technique. I quite like amazed to see how I make this plane, this simple plane without any displacement to the enemy looking like this. It's quite awesome to see that. So yeah, this is the power of shading techniques. So this is all about for this tutorial guys, and in next tutorial I shall make you and show you the smoke effect or something else. Till then, bye bye, and you can subscribe, like and share this video if you like. Till then, bye bye and goodbye. Take care.